Oh, yeah. I got a chance to be on the tasting table for the Chew, which is on ABC, about 2 separate times in New York City. And I talked to one of my favorite people, which is Carla Hall from Top Chef, who's now one of the co-hosts of the Chew. And I asked her, you know, do you have any tips, you know, for entertaining or whatnot? And one thing she said to me, which I thought was really cool, was she said, never make something for somebody, you know, for a party or anything that you haven't made before. Like, never try out anything on guests without trying it yourself, because it might not happen. And I thought that was a really good piece of advice.
Well, and you never know, too. I mean, there's no guarantee if you give something to a guest what kind of reaction you're going to get. I mean, you may find it to be the tastiest thing you've ever put in your mouth, and they may look at it, and the facial expressions cannot lie, you know. So, it's one of those things that you have to be really sure about before you go that direction. But
I agree.
well, that sounds really cool. What an experience. So now you not only can add chef to your a vast resume of things that you've done in your career, and it sounds like that you definitely have something. If you ever decided to abandon music, you could certainly pursue this, and gosh, there's no telling where it would take you.
I know. Well, I'm trying to pursue both, and right now it's, you know, music, of course, is the main career, but cooking has been this really neat thing that doesn't make me seem like I'm out for just music. You know, that I'm doing this. That I'm relating to people in a whole different way than I ever expected to.
Well, as I tweeted out earlier about you coming on the show, I put singing chef, so I think that's just perfect.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Oh, that's ideal. That's neat. Well, you know, we are. The holiday season is now here. It's upon us, and you know, we just had Thanksgiving. So, did you do anything? Did you cook a lot for the holiday? Do you have a lot of plans to do some cooking, you know, in the coming weeks?
Oh yeah, I did Thanksgiving for my partner's family, and it was about 12 people, and it was a lot of food. But I don't know. I took my tips from a lot of Food Network magazine stuff and watching Rachel Ray every once in a while, and we ended up doing 2 turkey crowns, which is just the breast meat without the legs and I kind of used Alton Brown's foolproof recipe for the bird, and it came out amazing. I got a lot of rave reviews.
What was his tips? What was Alton's tips?
His steps were, first, after you defrost the bird, you brine it with about a few cups of salt, vegetable stock, about a gallon of it, a gallon of water. I'm trying to think what else I put in it. Juniper berries, crystallized ginger, peppercorns, you know, and just brine it overnight. And you cook it down with some brown sugar, and then you put that in there as well.
That sounds tasty. And I only eat the white meat of turkey, so that would have been perfect for me.
Yeah.
Where was my invitation?
Oh.
Did it get lost in the mail? Is it in the web air?
It was fun, though. Did you guys have a good Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yes. And I think one of my favorite things about Thanksgiving is the leftovers, because you can have leftovers any other time of the year, but they are the best after Thanksgiving. I don't know why, but it's just, you know, I guess because you have so much food, it's left over, and you can eat for days on it. So, yeah, for the last 2 days, that's all I've been doing is eating leftovers. But, yeah, it was great. Always a lot of variety, you know, in my family in terms of what we fix and what we eat. So it's never go hungry, that's for sure.
That's great.
Now, I'd like to change the subject a bit and talk about your new album, Formal, and your project that you have going on for your band tour.
Oh, great.
What was the idea behind that? I'm looking at it now. You have 60% of your goal raised, and I think that's awesome. awesome. I congratulate and thank everybody that has donated to this, because I think this is going to be a phenomenal album.
Oh, thank you. We have about 20-something days left, 22 days left of the whole thing, and it's been really neat. You know, I've always wanted to expand my sound to have like a horn section and some more backup singing and just take it to the next level. And sometimes, you know, what I would do is just make a CD, like an acoustic CD, go on the road. When that was kind of fading away, I'd go back in the studio and make another one. But because this required more of a bigger push to get on a bigger level, I ended up getting new management and wanting to raise enough money to not only make a new CD, but to tour with it with a band, which is not something I get to do very often. It's usually me by myself. So I put together this Pledge Music page, which is kind of like Kickstarter, and it's pledgemusic.com/eric-himan band, and decided, you know, wrote it all out, figured out the financials, and we're trying to raise $15,000. And already we've raised about $9,500 in the past 30 days. So it's been pretty phenomenal. And, you know, you give away exclusives like the Queen show that we did. We had the audio all recorded, so that's an exclusive. One of my guitars. I do some of the cooking segment stuff where you can cook with me on Skype for about an hour. You know, I show you some of my recipes. I do a limited edition cookbook, things of that nature. And it's been really fun to see everybody get involved. It's basically like everybody's pre-ordering the CD in different ways.
Right.
So the songs, we went to the studio and did a bunch of demos, which people can hear. And I kind of decided to give them away once a week on Tuesdays, calling it Formal Tuesdays. And the idea behind Formal is that I'm dressing up my sound. So I'm wearing, like, tuxedos in a lot of the pictures and things of that nature.
Well, I donated, so I get those songs on Tuesdays, and I'm very
You're
grateful
awesome.
to get those
Thank
songs.
You. Thank you so much.
I absolutely love the music that you've put out so far that we've been able to listen to. And
I appreciate it.
You're welcome. And one of the favorites is one that I'm going to play when our interview is done, and that's How Can You Sleep? And it was funny, when I asked you in the email if you wouldn't mind if I played one, I had already uploaded that particular song for the show to play in case you had said yes. And then you went and told me to play that one, too. I said, oh, my gosh, we're on the same radar here.
Pam, you're good.
I know, right?
You are
to
good.
read people's minds.
For sure. So on this album, Eric, do you have a particular favorite?
I have to say, you're going to laugh, but it's How Can You Sleep? I feel like that's one of the catchier ones, and I don't usually write in it has kind of this gospelish sound to it that I don't normally write with, but since I've been writing more on the piano and less on the guitar, it's different styles seem to be coming out based on the medium that I've used. So How Can You Sleep was one of the first songs I wrote on piano where I felt like, okay, I kind of got this. This is working. So, I would say that one.
Yeah, you did a phenomenal job with that. And I noticed that the songs I've listened to have, meaning behind it and inspiration. And I think that you'll inspire a lot of people with your songs, with your music.
Oh, well, I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. As far as the donations go, they can donate as little as $1, right?
Yes, they can donate as little as $1, and they can, with the $10 pledge, that's when you start getting the music. You can get that's when you get, like, the CD when it's finished, which we're hoping for around February. So, hopefully we'll have it all done and ready and be able to deliver it to everybody where, they'll get Formal and they'll hopefully enjoy it.
I'm sure they will. Now, you have a live show coming up on December 22nd in Tulsa, Oklahoma at the Hunt Club.
Yes, we're playing down there, and it'll be a really fun show right before Christmas, so should have a great crowd.
Tell everybody to bring Eric a gift, and he'll play a song for you.
I'll play a whole set of songs for you.
That's right. Well, the gift can be the pledge. They can
You're
pledge.
Right.
And,
right.
And go from there. And that could be a special gift to have that met by Christmas. And 2013 can just start off on a rocking note. No pun intended there.
That'd be awesome.
Now, in writing this album, I mean, I'm sure you as Pam said, you can just tell from the music that there's born of a lot of inspiration and a backstory. And what was your main inspiration for the song? When you sit down to write, how do you go about that whole process?
Usually, I'll be walking or doing something in life, and I'll get, I don't know, like a tune will kind of flow through my head, a little medley or melody, and I'll sing it to myself and record it into my phone. And then sometimes, it's just humming a tune or humming like a line of music. And then sometimes it's, a phrase that seems to stick out to me. Or sometimes I'll sit down and say, I'm going to write a song about this particular topic. And, and the words will come first, and then I'll try to write the music around it. Mm-hmm. It's different depending on direction. I feel like I've been able to, when the music stuff doesn't come naturally, sometimes you can get your motor running by trying to sit down and write lyrics and write about a subject.
Have you ever been sound asleep and woken up and then just all of a sudden there's your song? Or driving a car or anything like that?
Oh, yeah, driving a car. It's funny, in the shower. I write most of my songs in the shower. I don't know how that happens, and my friends make fun of me. But the shower, I don't know if it's the warm water or the echo, because when you sing in a shower, it sounds so much bigger and better.
Well,
I don't know what it is.
Singing too.
Yeah, or the space and time. I don't know what it is, but I seem to be more creative in the shower.
Well, let's hope you haven't walked outside with your hair still full of shampoo because you were all of a sudden inspired.
Oh, no. There have been times where I write something and then I turn the shower off and grab a towel and run as fast as I can on my computer to write all the words down. I've done that quite a bit.
Well, that gives a whole new meaning to singing in the shower, too.
Right.
Yeah, I ended up getting those crayons that you use to, write on in the shower. And I've done that, too, where you just start writing on the wall lyrics.
Oh, my gosh.
You got to grab creativity.
I think that's the first time I ever heard that.
I know. Little kids use them to, just draw on the wall, and I'm using them to, finish material.
Oh, my gosh. That is so funny.
Whatever it takes to crank it out. That's the key.
I know, right?
So, well, now, speaking of inspiration, who are some of your musical inspirations that have been of great, meant a great deal to you?
Janis Joplin, Carole King, Nina Simone, Etta James, a lot of women.
Mm-hmm.
My dad liked the Beatles quite a bit, so that indirectly affected me. But I don't know what it is. A lot of female singer-songwriters I just seem to have been drawn to, like Nina Simone and, people who had something to say and said it in a very unique way. And I think a lot of those Carole King, people like them just seem to really speak to me.
Well, go ahead, Dawn. Oh, I was just going to say, anybody that wants to keep up to date with what Eric has going on, you can also go to his website, eric-himan.com. That's it. Go ahead, Dawn.
Oh, I was just going to say that some of those artists that you named, I mean, Carole King alone is just a phenomenal songwriter and brilliant. And it's really hard not to be inspired, given the talent, of their craft and so forth. So that's awesome. And in terms of what you've done so far, and you do the cooking thing and everything, where do you see yourself, say, 10 years from now?
How many years from now?
10 years from now.
10 years from now. Oh my gosh. I don't even know if I can see where I'm at next year, but where I'd like to see myself is still doing this and still enjoying it. I used to say 10 years ago when I first started professionally playing out, it's all about, I want to be on MTV, I want, to play in front of lots of people, but 10 years later, I mean, once all that subsides and you've done a little bit of this and a little bit of that, it really comes down to, you get out of your own way and you say, I just want to be able to keep doing this. You know, I'm lucky.
Yeah.
A lot of people that I started with 10 years ago, they don't do this anymore. Whether